Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Only 6 candidates were able to qualify for a spot on the stage. That could open things up for more time for discussion and also actual debate rather than just taking a minute or 90 seconds to make the point you want the crowd to hear. This is going to be something where we're seeing candidates finally making their closing arguments because we are now only 3 weeks away from the all-important Iowa caucus, the beginning of the state's voting for the 2020 presidential race.
We're hours away from what's going to be a battle royale of superstardom. That's right, kids. You're not seeing anything this wide except at the Oscars. So there's 6 people on the stage. Tom Steyer, super extra white. He's like opaque. He's like, they have to dress him, otherwise we'd see right through him. We're like, oh my God, where is he? Amy Klobuchar, right? Then you got the 4 biggies. The 4 biggins. Sanders, Warren, Buttigieg, and Biden. Now, Biden and Buttigieg, pretty quiet, right? Kind of a quiet last couple weeks. But Warren and Sanders, they're having some issues.
On top of all the jostling we've seen at the top of the polls here in Iowa, we also have some new contentiousness between candidates who so far have avoided attacking each other. Senators Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, and an argument over whether or not Senator Sanders allegedly in 2018 said a woman couldn't win. That certainly could allow for some new sparring that we haven't seen in previous debates.
Could be, which would be interesting. I don't think he said a woman couldn't win. I don't. I think what he said probably was, maybe, just maybe, you can't win right now. Right? Not that a woman couldn't win. To me, when somebody says that, it means like it's never going to happen. And that's just foolish. That's just foolish. Klobuchar weighed in and said America will vote for a gay man before they vote a gay man in before a woman. Maybe. Or maybe none of you. There's always that, too. I mean, you don't know. You don't know. I don't think Buttigieg is, I think he's too young. I don't think the time is right. A lot of that has to do with experience. I just don't think it's just, I think people have a tough time with him being so young, right? The gay thing doesn't bother people as much as the young thing does, right? Like, you kind of wanted the president to be a little bit older than you. Not have a curfew, right? That's, and even though he's like 37 or whatever he is, there's still that look like, I can't vote for my nephew, right? There's something about that. Klobuchar, look, people say you can't vote for, men just won't vote for women. I think I have zero problem. First of all, I'm going to say this right now. Well, I did not vote for either of the people that ran in the last one. I voted for Kasich. I say it all the time. I look up there and I say to myself, Hillary Clinton wouldn't have destroyed the country, right? No matter what anybody says, that's just not going to happen. Just like Donald Trump is not going to destroy the country. A woman being president is coming sooner rather than later. So this whole thing about, well, I just don't, that's a bunch of baloney. Daddy Smelaki, as they would say. So will they fight it up? Won't they fight it up? What are they going to do? I don't know. But it'll be interesting tonight to see because you look at the polls out there. I just continue to say this. You've got tonight, right? So there's tonight. Tomorrow, impeachment drops. Tuesday next week, the trial will begin and away it will roll. We'll touch on that in a second. But with all of that being said, this is it until Iowa. And then you got New Hampshire, right? And then all of a sudden here comes Nevada. And then we're heading towards Super Tuesday. This could be, you go and look at the polls that are out there. Biden's 1 or 2. Bernie isn't going anywhere. He isn't. And I think this attack by Elizabeth Warren feels a little bit desperate, like he's pulling away, right? I tried to usurp him and what he was doing, and he's doing it much better. He's pulling away from me. And that's the lane I occupy. It's too late now. I can't go back being the centrist. I got to occupy this lane, and now it's a two-horse race. So I know that I'm probably not going to take as many away from Biden, but we're fighting kind of over the same group. That's tough. That's tough. The only outlier I see, and I continue to say it, is I still think Bloomberg, who's hired he's got 1,000 field generals out there, right? Campaigning and caravanning and canvassing and doing all that. He's got 1,000 of them in 33 states. He's going to do something. He's starting to appear in polls. His $1 billion he's going to spend is going to make some noise. I don't care what anybody says. You spend $1 billion, you will make some noise. You will. He's about it. I think really Biden, Bernie, maybe Warren will stick around a little bit longer. Buttigieg is, again, I just think he's too young. And I think he scares a lot of people, too, because I think there's this. Here's the one thing about Trump. Trump feels a little bit regular. Always lived this lifestyle and stuff, but he feels like a regular dude, right? Talks a little bit regular, says off-colored stuff. You listen to somebody like Buttigieg, he feels very crafted. It is very natural. It makes people a little uncomfortable, right? Especially when you're reaching for that working-class Democrat. That makes them a little bit uncomfortable. Bernie feels like a crazy uncle, right? Conspiracy theory, throw stuff out there. He's talking about revolution, blowing stuff up, going to give everything free. We're going to revolution. But he's relatable, right? He's relatable. So tonight, we'll see. There's only 6 on stage, so they're going to get more time. And we'll see if those two, Elizabeth and Bernie, go at it. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Love hearing from you. Lindsey Graham today talking about their impeachment thing, which looks like it's going to be kicking off on Tuesday.
Once we start, we're going to try to plow ahead and get it done and hopefully be over. By the time of the State of the Union, you'll have it behind you. You'll come out of this thing politically stronger. I hate that you had to go through it, but I feel very confident he will be acquitted in the end.
Yeah, well, that's because you guys are already saying he's going to be acquitted, just like the other side's already saying he's going to, he should be going to jail. This is kind of what it is all about. It's politics. I don't care what anybody says. When it gets to this, it's not. When it gets to this point, it's because of politics, right? Everything that's done in D.C. is based on politics. And we're at a point now where politics overrides everything, right? Whether it's the weather, a holiday, a greeting, a tweet, everything is politics, right? Everything is politics, and that's what this is. So they're going to be moving forward. The thought process was that some people were batting around that we were going to be in a position where maybe Mitch was thinking about trying to dismiss this altogether.
There is little or no sentiment in the Republican conference for a motion to dismiss. Our members feel that we have an obligation to listen to the arguments.
Yeah, which I think is good. Listen to the arguments, hear what everybody has to say, vote on whether or not you need more stuff. You want more witnesses. You want more stuff. You want more investigation. You need more evidence, whatever it is. But listen to what they've got, because they're going to vote on the managers, and, because that's what we have to do now. We can't even just tell somebody, hey, why don't you just walk this across the aisle? Somebody's got to manage it. It's a joke. And then you're going to have Chief Justice Roberts is going to come over and preside over it, and they'll battle it out. And at the end of the day, it's going to end the exact same way we thought it was going to end, which is President Trump will continue to be President Trump, and there will be a battle come November of this year. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Check out thechadshow.com. When you go there, you know what's going to be there? Stuff, including a link to what is the place to get your podcast. Last night, my Tigers lost to the Tigers. I know. It was a hell of a game.
As they say in the bayou, laissez la bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. LSU sits on the throne of college football.
Oh. Yes, they do sit on the throne. Great game, by the way. Heisman Trophy winner Joe Burrow. Think about the year this kid's had. So he's bad, nobody really chased after this guy, right? Kind of had one scholarship, and his dad was like a offensive coordinator for Ohio, but he went to Ohio State. Next thing you know, it doesn't work out there. Then he comes over here, waits his turn. This year, nobody really thought anything from him. And within the space, think about this, September, October, November, December, January, of about 4.5 months with spring camp and summer camp, but really about 4 months, he has gone from, we'll see, probably not a prospect, to going to be the number one pick and won a Heisman. And took apart arguably the best defense in college football and destroyed the Alabamas and the Texases throughout the year. Just incredible. Shows you how fast things can turn. Great game last night. We'll talk about that because the guy that coaches their team is a character of characters, and his voice, oh, God, it's beautiful. Makes angels smile. AMAC, Association of Mature American Citizens, fastest growing organization for over 50. They do all kinds of things. They go out, bust their butts on your behalf to make sure that things like, Social Security is going to be around, insolvent, Medicare is going to be around. And, oh, yeah. How about things like common sense immigration reform, which we don't even talk about, but they are on top of it. On top of that, they offer all kinds of benefits, retail benefits, insurance, restaurant, hotel, travel. You got questions about Medicare, give them a call. They'll help you out. AMAC is awesome. Right now, the price is right. It's free. It's 1 year. It's free. It's on me. You go to amac.us/Chad. That's amac.us/Chad. You sign up, 1 year, free, on me. You can join all of the benefits. It's incredible. Or you can call them 888-355-1617, 888-355-1617, or amac.us/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
Check out our Chad Benson Show Facebook page where you can hang out or hang your grievances out to dry. This is Chad Benson.
People don't talk and all that, but you can't let it affect you. I use that as an internal motivation. People, they tease me the way I talk, tease me the way I look, and when it's kind of funny. The things that I was doing at Ole Miss, I was ridiculed for. And now I punch myself in the jaw, and everybody at LSU likes it. So it just depends where you're at, man.
That right there is Ed Ogeron. People talk about it as punch myself in the jaw. He is the coach of national champions, LSU. He is awesome. He's the best recruiter around. People love him. And Dabo Sweeney, but he's just this guy who's infectious. And he did punch himself in the face. They say he gets so hyped up. I get hyped up. I just don't know what I'm going to do. People laughing at me. I don't know. I like to punch myself. It was great. It was an accident. Knocked my tooth out. He did. He knocked his false tooth out. He drinks 8 to 10 Monster or Red Bulls a day. Last night, they won the national championship. He celebrated for a little bit, had a 2 a.m. fried chicken dinner, got in an airplane, and today, as we're speaking right now, he's in a kid's home probably somewhere saying, you got to come on here. You see what we did last night. It's going to be an opportunity for you to get to the next level. Yeah, I'll punch myself in the face. You're going to like it. Okay, I'll come. You really going to do that? But there's a guy people love. Why? Great story. Just a good story. Out of football, right? Was at USC with Carroll, the coach of now the Seattle Seahawks, and a lot of people thought he was going to get the job. He wasn't a fit. Just wasn't a fit. SC, that's now. He went to Mississippi State. Wasn't a fit. He's a Louisiana boy. It works there. He works. And it's good to see that last night. It was so, you look at him and he's sorry about it. And then you got on the other side, you got this guy named Dabo Swain. He's like, oh, shucks and golly gee and oh, dadgummit. It was Southern football. I love college football, right? Like college basketball, we get excited about for a month, right? For like 2.5 weeks, we're excited. But outside of that, yeah. But college football, it's great. It's just fun. And it's great stories. Great stories. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Love hearing from everybody. This college scandal's not going anywhere. Remember this college scandal? Really? As we talk about college, remember this?
John Wilson had already been charged with paying $220,000 to secure his son's spot at the University of Southern California as a water polo recruit. Now the Massachusetts man faces charges that he deducted that money from his 2014 tax returns, passing it off as charitable donations and business expenses. The new charge of filing a false tax return carries a potential sentence of 3 years in prison.
Oh, my God. It's not the paying to get in, right? And that stuff, you see, you pay $50,000, $100,000, you do 10 days in jail. Then you cheated. You cheated on that. Now, I don't know what the guy was told. Like, hey, this is just some people may have, right? Here's the other thing, too. If you're coming from a different country and you're trying to get your kid in and you're talking to somebody over here, you may not know any of the rules. But if you're here, you gotta know the rules. And trying to get your kid on a sport where they don't... It's like your kid's a great athlete and they're like, you can come row here. Okay, you're a great athlete. It's not like kids grow up rowing. I can see that. Your kid's afraid of the water, a water polo scholarship, you're not going to come here to LSU and do that. I'll tell you that right now. I love that guy's voice. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Trouble for Boeing. Talk about that. Getting ready to battle it out in Iowa. Last debate before Iowa and New Hampshire. It's the Chad Benson Show.
Chad Benson Show.
Independent thought, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
We were talking off air, as we tend to do here, because we like each other. Because our jobs don't suck, about like Andrew Yang and how well he's doing, and he's not on stage tonight. But I said, here's the thing about Andrew. Do I know a little bit about him? Yeah. By the way, he's not as rich as people think. He's done okay for himself. He's flush with cash. They were talking about how he's outlasted all these people, but I don't know a lot about him outside of that. He's got a lot. I said I'd bring him into administration because you got a lot to say about the tech industry and where we should be going when it comes to the economy. And, I think with some of those ideas, with some of the stuff that's going on now, I think he's a really bright dude. Plus he wants to give me $1,000. Like, I'm not going to say no to that. And Anthony said, well, what do you know about the rest of them? I said, well, here's the thing. Don't fall in love with a politician. Fall in like at best. Right? Fall in like at best. Our big issue for a lot of things when I watch all this stuff is what the Republicans and Democrats used to be, that doesn't exist anymore. It just doesn't. You wonder why poor people vote Republican, right? A lot of people they're voting against their own best interests. No, they're voting a belief system that doesn't exist anymore in modern politics, right? 30 years ago, 40 years ago, Trump would have been bounced long before this, right? 30 years ago, Bernie Sanders, while he was in the periphery of things, he had no chance to run for president. Things have changed in a lot of different ways. A lot of that's on us, right? A lot of that's on us. The way that we look at the world, the way we view things, the attitude towards one another, social media. It is a hodgepodge of craziness. But the ideas of what a conservative used to be and what a Democrat used to be, those are just romantic ideas that don't exist anymore. All these people are in many cases, this is the business path they have chosen. They were sitting there. Some of them are idealistic. I can at least say with Bernie, you go back 30, 40 years, Bernie's been Bernie. Right? But you look at some of them, right? Like they've taken the path that they think suits them best. And that includes their career. It does. It's not good. It's not bad. It is what it is. I understand why people who are conservative, like uber conservative, I understand. Like, I look at them and I say to myself, I get why you like the conservative values and ideas. There's a lot of it I love about it, right? And I understand the same thing on the Democratic side. But both parties have been hijacked by people who have their own thing, which is we want the power, we want this, we want that. We're here for this fiefdom, and we represent the people. But the reality is it's party first, politics second, people third. And those things are gone now. Those ideals that once were. It's like capitalism. People talk about capitalism. Capitalism isn't, we need a fairer capitalism. We need this, that, and the other. Capitalism works just fine. Capitalism is hijacked by giant business and politicians. Because what do they want? What does everybody want? Right? Politicians want money to keep their fiefdom alive. And big business wants what? They need power. They need favors. They're going to hunt for each other. So you go to where it is. But this whole, like, capitalism's broke. People have broke capitalism. People have messed it up. It's not what you go and look at it now and you're like, wow, what's a free market? I don't know. Because to me, I say this. You come up with a great idea. Case in point, Uber. Seems like a good idea. Competition. Well, then different cities and states and the union people pay this. Next thing you know, you're being asked out of this city, or you can't go to airports now, like here in Phoenix where the battle is on, and they're fighting over this, that, and the other. You got California coming in saying we're going to do this. Now, if you want an Uber or a Lyft, they can't give you a price. Unless you're doing a shared Uber or Lyft, they can't give you a price anymore. There's no upfront pricing. I always tell everybody, you want to see how big business and craziness gets involved, go look at Segway. Segway was supposed to change the world. So there are these stupid little things you drive around. I don't know why anybody thought they were going to be cool, because, it is what it is. They're fun, right? Like if you like to do a 3-point turn and it takes 5 minutes and you like to do dipsy-doos. But it's neat, right? Whatever. But this was going to be one of these things that was going to change everything. Silicon Valley was over the moon. Segway's going to be the greatest thing in the world. This is going to change. Oh my God, this is changing everything. This is going to be huge. Before it ever came out, and huge venture capitalists puts tons of money into Segway, massive amounts of money. Big, famous venture capitalists and Silicon Valley, uppity-ups, put a ton of money into it. Cities started banning them before they ever hit the road. Capitalism, Republicans, Democrats, liberals, conservatives, this romantic idea of what that is anymore, that stuff's gone. That is. So you're right. What you believe as a conservative, as a Democrat, because you look at your mom and dad's Democratic and Republican Party. This is what they stood for. Those days are gone. Those days are long gone. We could barely have a conversation. That's why this was refreshing.
As an evangelical Christian, I am continually bombarded by Democratic candidates who demonize my beliefs, calling them bigoted and intolerant. I love this country, and I love my fellow citizens, and I don't feel the respect and honor for my values and what I believe in. My question for you is, why should I give up things that I hold dear, that I teach my children about, things like ending abortion, traditional marriage, and religious freedoms? Why should I give up those things that I love so much and believe so deeply in to vote for an individual like yourself?
That was a guy asking Elizabeth Warren a very real question. Name is Tim. Real question, not some lunatic plant screaming at her like that other guy was. My grandpa died, and it just felt like a plant. This is a real thing. Because people out there who are evangelicals, they don't like Trump. They don't like a lot of his attitude. But they look at his actions and they say to themselves, he's supporting a lot of conservative justices. And judges out there. He is trying to uphold some of these things. He doesn't follow them. Morally, he's as bankrupt as it comes. A lot of people would say, but I have news for you. I met a lot of these people, and yeah, they're all a little bankrupt in something. I'm not here to judge. You do you. But he's asking a very real question, right? And she tries to come back, and I think she does a decent job with her answers as best that she can in a situation like that. Because let's be real, if you're an uber conservative Christian, one side of this country, the left side, thinks that you are bigoted, hateful, homophobic, patriarchy, just you name it. They think those things, that your values and your beliefs, they're old school and they're awful.
I was born and raised Methodist. I've been a Sunday school teacher. Most of the scripture I quote is still King James. I'm old school. But I don't think you have to be a religious person to have good values. I believe everyone should be treated with respect. For me, it is a basic value. Every human being has value. And that's true whether we're talking about black or white, straight or gay or trans, old or young. I think this is really an important part of who we are.
That wasn't what he asked. Why should I vote for you when, while I may not like the guy in the White House, if I have a belief and I own a store and this is my belief and somebody comes in here and it goes against my belief, you're going to force me to do something that I don't, why should I? I believe in this. You believe in that. But you're totally fine coming after my beliefs, and you would never go after your beliefs. And you want me to vote for you. And the sad thing is, in this day and age, this is where we are. No matter who's president of the United States, unless something goes completely awful, right? Unless something goes so off the rails that we just go 70, 80% of us said, nope, that's never going to work. We got to get back to some normalcy, which I don't see happening anytime soon because politics and the world that we live in, our founding fathers put it in such a way that there wasn't any of those super dramatic, like we can have a personality that's crazy, but we're not going to be going so far to one angle or another. It's just going to destroy the country and make us just, that's not going to happen. But whoever wins, you can say that I'm going to be president for everybody. And you may think that, you may believe that, and you may want to. The problem is, it's not even about that anymore. Because half the people don't want you as president, and they don't want you to be their president. So you saying it means nothing. Right? Like, that's how serious a lot of people are. It's crazy. It is. Again, this romantic idea of all this stuff back in the day. It's gone. It's gone, kids. It's gone. 323-538-2423 at Chet Benson Show. Here's your Twitter. Tweet at us. They're going to battle it out tonight. What are we, like 2 hours? 4 hours? I don't even know. How long is this thing going on for? Do we know? Is it a 2 hour thing? It's 90 minutes? You think Uncle Joe knows where he's at? It's Iowa. It's Des Moines. 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 Just get it out there. It's good night, Cleveland. My Pillow. Ah, man. I love these towels. Somebody's like, Chad, I was really skeptical, and I got these towels. This lady, she direct messaged me. DM, that's what the kids call it. And she's like, these things are awesome. I said, I wasn't lying, right? Like, I'm not selling anything I don't like. Trust me, I get brought a lot of crap. My Pillow's been spot on with everything. I still go back to the mattress topper. That's incredible. But they sent us pillows, and, I was like, those are amazing. Those are great. I take them everywhere, right? I've got the sheets. They're awesome. So they sent me these. I said, I'll try them. And it's awesome. It is. Extra soft, super absorbent, luxury feel, 5 designer choices. So you get different colors. 30 by 56-inch bath towels, right? 60 by 30 hand towels, washcloths, made in the USA, 100% USA cotton. So there's no fillers or cheap softeners. So, when you get a really nice towel and you wash it and then it starts to kind of come apart and it's never the same, you don't have to worry about that with this. This is boom. 30% off right now, 60-day money-back guarantee. Go to MyPillow.com. There's a new radio listener special. You click on it. You're going to save 30% right there. But you got to enter promo code Benson. MyPillow.com. The promo code is Benson. Or call 800-983-4975 and use that promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
Being antisocial sucks. Hang with Chad's friends on Facebook, The Chad Benson Show. And if you just need some alone time, head on over to Twitter at Chad Benson Show. Either way, we can't wait to meet the real you.
At schools, a plane passed over, dumping fuel. At least 60 people complained of eye and skin irritation. The Boeing 777 dumping fuel, passing over the impacted schools at only about 2,300 feet. The FAA recommends fuel dumping be done above 6,000 feet. The pilots reported they were returning to LAX because of a compressor stall in their engine. They were dumping fuel to reduce weight before landing back at LAX.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to blame that on Boeing because you don't know, right? But Boeing has not had a good last few months. Now there are some more issues with the MAX that included Boeing internally making fun of Lion Air and before their crash even. And now sales figures are out.
For the first time in decades, Boeing is posting negative numbers when it comes to airplane orders. In new data released, Boeing was at negative 87 orders in 2019 because it lost orders that had been placed. The 737 MAX crisis has left Airbus the leader in airplane deliveries, delivering 863 planes last year. Boeing delivered only 380. And now American Airlines is joining United in canceling all MAX flights until at least June.
Yeah. I said 2-3 months ago this was going to be a lost decade for Boeing, and it is going to take a long time for them to rebuild. We have a lady that's going out to Texas tomorrow. So front office lady out there, and she is a nervous flyer. And she said one of the first things she did was she wanted to see what kind of plane she was flying. And I had to reassure that, look, you're going on a Boeing, and this is not the MAX plane. You're not going on any of these things. But what's the joke now? If it's Boeing, I'm not going. That's a lot. That's a brand, right? Your name is tarnished because of what's taken place. That's going to take a long time to get back, and the trust is going to take a very long time to get back for people buying stuff. And with Airbus growing like this, it's going to be a while. It is.
I'm the bad guy.
Billie Eilish continues to break down barriers. The 18-year-old has been tapped to sing the theme for the upcoming James Bond movie, No Time to Die. And she'll be the youngest person to ever do a Bond theme. She co-wrote the track with her brother Phineas, with whom she recorded her gigantic debut album, When We All Fall Asleep, Where Do We Go? Eilish is up for 6 Grammys later this month. No Time to Die is in theaters April 10th.
Yeah, she better get cracking. Not too far away. I don't get the Billie Eilish thing. She's got a great voice. If you hear her without all the stuff, right? Because there's so much stuff. But I don't know. Maybe it's me. I just don't I guess it's the old get off my lawn thing. But there's something about, like, I don't get her stuff. I feel like anybody could sing that song. It's the arrangement around it that gives it that, the thing. You know what song is cool? Dance Monkey. Have you ever heard that song, Phil? Dance Monkey?
No, I never have.
That is great. Dance Monkey is by this hilariously... She looks like Rebel Wilson, like when Rebel was really big, kind of. And her name is Tones and I. And she's so talented. And she's this Australian... And she is hilarious. And the song Dance Monkey is just so funny. It really is. And she's got such an awesome voice.
Make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. So they say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh.
Yeah, I like it. It's a great song. It is. She, by the way, I don't know how good she looks in a bikini, but I don't think it's the same. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. It's not very nice to say, Chad. I'm just throwing it out there, kids. Such a pig. But you laughed. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
The White House chose to not participate in the House impeachment hearings, but in the Senate trial, White House counsel Pat Cipollone and the president's personal attorney Jay Sekulow are expected to take the lead. One of their key arguments, the president did nothing illegal. Sources tell ABC News that the president and his attorneys would like to add to the defense team several of his most staunch House allies, Republicans Jim Jordan, John Ratcliffe, and Doug Collins, because of their extensive firsthand knowledge of the evidence. But Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and other Republican senators have signaled they don't want the GOP House members involved and have lobbied the president against it.
Yeah. It'd be cool if they had Montel Jordan. This is how we... It's turned into a farce. Chad. Now, there's new evidence. I've said this entire time when it comes to Trump and the Ukraine, his biggest issue isn't what the whistleblower heard or didn't hear, isn't some of the people inside of the White House, not even John Bolton. His biggest issue is Rudy.
One key figure who will not make an appearance, the president's personal attorney, Rudy Giuliani. Sources say he has urged the president to add him to the Senate defense team. President Trump always speaks highly of Rudy Giuliani, but people close to the president have urged against adding him to the impeachment team, given the spotlight on Giuliani's work with Ukraine. Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
Hey, I know I've crashed your car 75 times. If you could just this is the best idea I have. If you could put me on your team. Totally, I got this. In fact, make me the lead. So new evidence is coming out from Les Parnas, which is one of the people that he was skulking around with, the skulkinator, Giuliani, that apparently shows, without a doubt, Trump knew and consented on everything in the history of forever when it comes to the Ukraine. Here's one of the other problems that the Democrats are having, right? First of all, we're super divided, and at this point in time, it feels like a reach, is what the Republicans are saying. Even if you found something, Secondly, it's the Ukraine, right? It's the Ukraine. People didn't even know we were giving them God knows how much money. Hundreds of millions of dollars. We're helping them fight a war and against the Russians and we're helping them and this was an ally of ours who was taking on Well, hold on a second. Trump wasn't president when the Crimea was invaded, and what did we do again? I mean, did we like Obama just roll it out, just like, man, let's just flood him with stuff? Right? This isn't like Australia's come to us and say we need $500 million because China's invading us, and we're like, oh, that's not a good eye, and we're like all over it. Like, this isn't one of those things, right? This is a faraway land full of corruption, and it's not like Trump would be in more trouble if he was the one who started the fires in Australia himself than this. Because a lot of people, even Democrats, moderate Democrats, are like, I don't care. Why are we giving money to the Ukraine? Like, do you imagine what we could do with that money here with health care and with schools and all this? Why are we giving money away again? Like, there is a thought process that goes into this. And you've got to be able to sell it. Well, look what he did was, look at this guy's now got all this stuff. People have made up their mind already. They've made up their mind. The Giuliani thing is still an issue. And the fact that he even went to him and goes, you know what you should really do? This is super solid. Right? It's like the movie The Hangover, right? Like the first time, all right, we didn't know that was going to happen. By the third movie, I kind of hope they just take Doug and keep him forever. Right? It's like the movie Taken. Remember that? They asked him, why aren't you going to do another one? He goes, look, at this point in time, like, we're running out of people to take. And secondly, people are like, this guy's a really bad father. Yeah, no, Giuliani needs to go on vacation. I don't know where that is, but he needs to go away. He does. He needs to be just gone. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at us. With all of that going on, tonight they're getting ready to battle it out. It's a battle royale because, kids, we got ourselves a debate.
Only 6 candidates were able to qualify for a spot on the stage. That could open things up for more time for discussion and also actual debate rather than just taking a minute or 90 seconds to make the point you want the crowd to hear. This is going to be something where we're seeing candidates finally making their closing arguments because we are now only 3 weeks away from the all-important Iowa caucus, the beginning of the state's voting for the 2020 presidential race.
What makes that interesting is it's like comedy, and they'll always tell you this. Solid 10 minutes, you can if you're decent, you can get that quick, right? That going from 10 minutes to a half an hour. Ooh. Yeah, it's a different world. So you're not going to have your just, it's the 1%'s fault. Everybody's fault. It's the 1%. Climate change. Trump's bad. Evil. And you got, they have a chance to come back at you, and you can give a more robust answer. So this is different. And, even somebody like Andrew Yang, right? Like, Chappelle came out today and said, hey, I'm going to endorse Andrew Yang. But he's like, okay, you got 60 seconds for your closing argument. He's like, hey, everybody wants $1,000 cash. Freedom bucks are great. AI's bad. You're going to have a chance now to really get it out. And that's why when it starts to get to this point, it becomes real. It's not 10 people who've got their, everything's on a notepad. They've been practicing their, these are my hit points. These are my hit points. This is what I'm going to say. These are my hit points. And then boom. No, now you can come back and say, Bernie, I'm going to ask you a question and be 100% honest with me. Right? And CNN should come do that today because they're the one hosting this damn thing. And let me tell you something. They have an article today basically crushing Bernie Sanders with, all right, let's talk about the reality of if he got everything he wanted. And we're talking trillions of dollars. And no matter what we cut, right, we could have no military. We could be like, all right, we can't have a military anymore. And we're going to take every dollar from every rich person. And we're still short. How does that look? Like, what is your answer? Well, according to the people that I talk to, okay, I get that. According to the people you talk to. But let's just say that those people don't have it all worked out. Like Mike Tyson's great saying is, everybody's got a plan till you get punched in the face. And that was true. Like, everybody's like, you can go there and you can work out for 6-8 weeks and you could be the best shape of your life and you get ready to roll and you've worked it out, man. He's going to come hard. You're going to duck. You're going to bob. You're going to weave. You're not going to get your back against the ropes. You're going to try to take him out in the center and keep him away. And then the bell rings and all of a sudden, everything else changes. Everything else changes. Everything. Because it becomes real. And all of those unexpected things, they're out there. So what happens, Bernie, when you promise everybody, well, you're going to pay more in taxes, but guess what? It's no big deal. You don't have a copay. Okay, great. You don't have a copay. But what happens now is you've exhausted the wealthy. Our stock market is struggling because people aren't investing here and they're taking their money elsewhere. You've now put us in a position where you've doubled the size of the federal government, businesses aren't growing, and you're coming back to people saying we're going to tax you more and we're going to put on value-added tax on other goods, like the European countries that have single-payer. And then I'm just going with single-payer. I'm not talking about all the other stuff. So here's the question now. So now, yeah, you don't have a copay. You don't have to worry about going bankrupt. But somebody takes gets $1,000 a week salary, makes $52,000 a year. You're taking $26,000. How are they living? It's a fair question. You should plan and give I tell you what, under promise, over deliver. And in politics, they just tell you to your face, it's going to be the greatest thing ever. Everything that's ever perfect. This is it. I mean, let's just say, for the sake of argument, your winning the lottery every week doesn't work out the way that you think it's going to. Then what? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. Twitter. Tweet at us. Super Beats. I'm going. Been up since, are you guys ready for this? 2:45 a.m. Yeah. What have I done today? Came in, busted my butt. 3 radio shows. On top of that, I worked out for about 45 minutes. And when I need a little boost this afternoon, grabbed my Super Beat soft chews, ate a couple of them, away I went. Incredible. Super convenient, delicious. Take them wherever I want. Now they've got a new breakthrough ingredient, which is grapeseed extract that comes from the Loire Valley in France. Grapeseed extract, which has been shown clinically to support healthy blood pressure. You add that to what Super Beats is with the amazing beets, right, that support normal blood pressure, circulation, and energy. You've got a double winner, and it tastes delicious. Now is your chance to win big by buying 2 and getting a third one for free. Now that's a win. How do you do it? Simple. Go to superbeatsradio.com/Chad. 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 What's trending? Chad Benson Show.
Boys, give me a bowl of chili with plenty of peppers. One Mexican heartburn. Why don't you mugs grow up?
The Chad Benson Show, where independent, a la carte thinkers have a seat at the table and a voice in the dialogue.
I'll have what she's having.
This is Chad Benson.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Now it's time to find out what's trending. What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending? All kinds of stuff. Crazy stuff, fun stuff, weird stuff, wacky stuff, and some stuff you would think would be trending on a day like today. Democratic debate trending everywhere. Big time. Taco Tuesday. That should always trend on Tuesdays. Odell Beckham Jr. Last night, LSU won the national championship. Odell Beckham Jr. used to play for the Bayou Bengals, and he was, he was making it rain some cash money. People are asking the question, what? What is that all about? Very interesting. Les Parnas is trending. Who's that? It's one of Giuliani's Ukrainian pals. He might even be Russian. I'm not quite sure. But he's trending because apparently the stuff he turned over. Now remember, he's been indicted, so take it for a grain of, it's a grain of salt. Whatever he said, it's for what it's worth. This cat has already been indicted. The first one in gets the best deal, but he's gone over and he's turned over all this stuff. He's got handwritten notes that Trump is guilty of all of this. So CNN's very excited about it. So super it was just, I was like, whoa, slow down there, kitten. Right? Head on over to the Google. Different stuff on the Google. Jeopardy tonight, greatest of all time. Michelle Carter's trending. If you don't know who she is, remember her. She was the girl who a few years ago, she's 23 now. When she was 17, her then boyfriend, Conrad Roy, was suicidal, and she was convicted of involuntary manslaughter for essentially pushing him to kill himself, which he eventually did. She's doing 15 months in jail. Her case was turned away by the Supreme Court. They said, nah, we don't think so. We'll pass on that. Vince Vaughn, because he shook the hand of the president last night at the football game, and God forbid you do that, because when you do that, automatically, and the people on the left are saying, oh, it's a bunch of baloney about the rights making it cancel culture, but then you go look out there's a lot of people talking a bunch of smack. And people remember about, this thing called Ellen DeGeneres and W sitting together and her talking about, people were mad about that. And Parasite, which is a movie that has been nominated for Best Picture, and it's a Korean movie. And that is trending everywhere. People are like, is that a horror movie? What exactly is this? But the big thing tonight, obviously trending, is the Democratic debate. What will happen? What won't happen? Where do people sit? Not just take away the national polls. Again, those things are going to shift 1,000 times. It isn't until you have an actual person running against another person that you take any of those things seriously.
As we head into tonight's debate, the Democratic race is still wide open. The latest polling shows just about 2/3 of Democratic voters say they still haven't made up their mind yet as to who they'd vote for in the primary.
Yeah, and I think that's real. And I also think there's still an outside player in Michael Bloomberg. He's got tons of money. He is getting his people out there. He launched a nationwide campaign on Saturday. He's in 33 states with 1,000 people that are canvassing, hitting the streets, banging the doors, he and the ad buys he's going to have, right? There's like 2 candidates they're going to have spots at the Super Bowl. It's him and it's Donald Trump. That's it. Nobody else, I guess, is buying anything. So that will be very interesting to see. I think that he is going to make enough noise in enough states that he could be the disruptor that makes it a contested convention. Means they go in there, there's no clear leader, and the battle's on. And backroom deals will be cut, so you never know. And I look at all of these candidates, and I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't think any of them stand a chance at this moment in time with the economy the way it is of taking Donald down. I just don't. Michael Bloomberg would be interesting. If you asked me where I would put my money, if I had to put money on somebody who I think could take Trump, Bloomberg would be it. Take away the nanny state straw stuff and all that stuff. He's not a nut job. Used to be a Republican, far more conservative and middle of the road than the rest. I think he would give a much better battle than what we see. But who knows? 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show. It's your Twitter. So Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Iowa tonight, they're battling out the Battle Royale. Tweeting's already happening. Tom Steyer, who happens to be on stage, still for the life of me, have no idea why. Producer Phil, can you tell me what Tom Steyer became rich on? Do you have any idea?
No, I don't know.
So, for those of you who don't know Tom Steyer, he tweeted out that he is a billionaire with a B, a shot at Trump. But Steyer was once a hedge fund cat, I guess the best way to describe it, right? Big hedge fund dude, lots of money under management, investing and whatnot. But most people have no idea who he is. So he's out firing away. And then, of course, you've got the battle going on between the likes of Warren and Sanders. And then Biden's got himself a new ad.
Donald Trump has made it clear.
Joe Biden. Biden.
And Biden. He's got Joe Biden on his mind because Trump knows Biden will beat him in Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin, the states we need to take back the presidency. Joe Biden stood on the world stage, helped make Obamacare the law of the land, and can step in on day one. It's why Trump can't stop talking about
Joe Biden.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
I like how he says he could step in on day one. Like, what are you going to call in sick? I can't make it. Not going to be able to make it. No, sorry, can't make it. Biden. Biden's still nationally leading the way. That's not a shocker. And that's going to continue to be that way. It's not going to be a runaway, but it'll be a 1-2 between Bernie and Biden. Buttigieg, I just don't think he has it. And I think one thing is true, and Sanders said it, is, you know, Buttigieg and Elizabeth Warren are a lot alike. The white, super educated group really like them. So there's this elitist feel to them. There's this sense of, you know, there's something about them. Bernie evokes emotion that others don't. And here's something that I think people need to understand, too. When you look at the demographics and the breakdown, Bernie crushes it in the younger demo. The younger demo is less traditional, right? Their loyalty isn't the loyalty that we see in an older generation. And it's not bad, it's just different. And it's across everything. It's not just politics. Case in point, I love baseball, right? I do. I have my teams that I grew up with, right? Like, I love the Dodgers. I love, you know, and they got cheated out of the World Series by the Astros, and so did Boston, cheated them out too. But, you know, neither here nor there. But, right, I love them. I can appreciate. I love all sports. Football is a little bit different. I mean, I like the Patriots a lot, but the reality is, as a kid growing up, I loved the Rams, and then they moved and they came back, and I haven't cared as much. But I enjoy the game. A younger generation has loyalty to a person, right? Like my son Jack, who's not of voting age, but I see it with his generation. I see it with my brother's generation, he's 21 now. He doesn't have any loyalty to sports teams, but he loves the players, right? He loves that's where his loyalty lies. It's singularly, I think you're cool. And I like you. And there's a lot of that with Bernie and his supporters. They love Bernie. They don't love the Democrat Party. They love Bernie. It's the same problem that the Republicans are going to have with Trump. A lot of people love Trump. There's no replacing Trump. If Trump leaves tomorrow, if Trump leaves in November, if Trump leaves 4.5, 5 years from now, there's nobody coming in. They love Trump. That's where their loyalty is. It's not to the Republican Party. It's not to the brand. Like Apple. Look at Apple. People are loyal to the brand. Bernie is kind of a brand. It's an odd thing, but it's true. Hence the reason why somebody like Hillary Clinton struggled and was pissed at Bernie because he didn't throw his weight until later on into the race behind her. But I think he knew. So if Bernie got out, there are Democrats that love Bernie they're Democrats, right? They love Bernie. He's a Democrat. But there's a lot of Bernie people who aren't Democrats, and they're loyal to Bernie. And if Bernie's not in it, they don't care. They'll take their ball and go home. Now, some, because of their visceral hate for Trump, will hold their nose and vote for somebody else. Just like some people out there who are on the right side of the aisle would have rather seen somebody else. They'll hold their nose and vote for Trump because the alternative they see is something that they don't want. But the reality is there's a good portion of them that they're loyal to the brand. They're loyal to the person. They're not loyal to the party. And because of that, it's hard to replace. And that's why when you're chasing Bernie's people, if he gets out, it's much easier. Like if Elizabeth Warren gets out, her people would probably go to Buttigieg and vice versa. Right? You know where they're not going if Bernie gets out? They're not going to Elizabeth Warren because there's a lot to that. And his people are uber loyal. As much as you see Trump's people who are loyal, there's a lot of the same in Bernietown. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. With all of this stuff going on, there's still this whole thing about, like impeachment. They're going to figure that out sometime tomorrow. They're probably going to vote on, who gets to be that person that gets to handle the articles, who gets to be the said manager of impeachment, right? I don't know who that's going to be. I don't know if you draw a straw. I don't know what they're going to do. They're debating. I don't want to do it. You got to do it. It's your turn. I don't want to do it, but you got to do it. Are you sure? Yeah, fine. I guess we'll let you do it. But tomorrow, the managers should be ready to rock and roll. And we'll see what happens from there. What I do know is going to happen is he's going to be acquitted, barring anything. 99.99% sure he's going to be acquitted. Not saying it's 100%, because you never know what craziness may pop its head up. So you never say never, but you're as close to never as you're going to get.
A handful of key Republicans say they do want to hear from additional witnesses, or at least want a promise now that they will consider those witnesses further down the line. Now, hearing from witnesses would dramatically change the dynamic of the trial in the Senate, and it could make it much longer. But the Republican leader, Mitch McConnell, has made very clear he has no interest in hearing from them. He is looking for a quick acquittal of the president.
Yeah, and he has just come out today and said, look, we're going to start the trial most likely on Tuesday of next week, which we're going to have a vote, and the vote is going to be on witnesses and documentation, which has been one of the battles. So a lot of Republicans, even some that favor having some witnesses and stuff, they want to do the same thing that they did with Clinton and the way they handled that comparatively to what Schumer wants, which Schumer wants it to be this, hey, everything's 50-50. We're going to name the rules and stuff. No, you had your chance in the House. It is now. This is the way the game breaks out. And if it was good enough for Clinton, why isn't it good for you?
One is to have a vote at the outset as to whether or not they're going to be witnesses. And that's what Chuck Schumer is going to promote. I don't favor that approach. Even though I do want witnesses, I'm going to be voting against the Schumer model to have that vote at the beginning. Instead, there's the, if you will, the Clinton impeachment model, which is to say that we have opening arguments and then we have a vote.
Yeah, and so that's what it looks like they're going to do. They're going to have a vote on witnesses and documentation, but they're going to hear everything. And I don't know how long that's going to take. Could take, again, I have no idea. I mean, is there anything that anybody doesn't already know about all of this stuff? Probably not. But you'll have a chance now to have the likes of the president's attorneys come out and throw their stuff out there, and we'll see what takes place. I mean, I do believe he's going to be acquitted. I don't think it's going to take a month or 2 or 6 weeks or anything. I think you're looking at 10 days. 2 weeks, at the max, and then the Democrats will run around saying we should have had this and we should have had that. And it didn't do this and it didn't do that. And then we'll move on with our lives. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program. Love hearing from every single one of you. If you're going to be on a game show, if you're going to screw up an answer, screw up right.
Whoever guesses this wins the game. Here we go. Name Popeye's favorite food.
Chicken! Oh my God!
Show me chicken!
Spinach, Sherry.
I thought you meant Popeye's chicken.
Whoops. Why would Popeye's chicken have its own favorite food? Canadians. I'm curious. And by the way that she answered it was hilarious. That was half it. She was like, she's all chicken. She was dancing around. Can't fake stupid, right? What do you always say, Phil? Play a stupid game, win a stupid prize?
Exactly.
Exactly.
I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm strong to the finish 'cause I eats me spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man.
323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. I just love the confidence she had of which she said that. Like the confidence of the way the confidence was like, I know exactly what this is. It's a done deal. I'm going to beat his hand to the buzzer and it's over. You guys can she was so sure. And then she wasn't. Raycons, best earbuds around. Love them. Half the price of all these other premium earbuds that are out there. Sound so incredible. Built for sound. Why haven't you bought a pair? Why haven't you? You should. E25's best of the best right now. 6 hours of playtime, seamless Bluetooth pairing, more bass, compact design. You don't even know there's anything in your ears. And it's weird because people start talking to you like, what? And it's like, oh. And they're pointing. Yeah, great design, super comfortable. On the go listening, taking phone calls. You got a nice noise isolating fit. And like I said, Ray J put these together. No stems or wires. He did it. He took it to all his musical friends like Snoop Dogg and Melissa Etheridge says, what do you think of these? Give me your honest opinion. And their opinion was these things rock. And again, half the price, quarter the price of some other ones. You could say big 15% right now. It's simple and easy. You go to buyraycon.com/Chad, buyraycon.com/Chad, buyraycon.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show, the only place so far that the Mueller investigation hasn't deep probed for collusion.
Stay tuned.
This is Chad Benson.
We believe if that happened, in all likelihood, go through some preliminary steps here this week, which could well include the Chief Justice coming over and swearing in members of the Senate and some other kind of housekeeping measures. We hope to be able to achieve that by consent, which would set us up to begin the actual trial next Tuesday.
Yeah, so looks like next Tuesday it is going to be out. So we'll see how this thing plays itself out and the way that they go about doing this. So tomorrow, by all accounts, they will have the managers of this. Then you're going to need, and it's going to be Chief Justice Roberts that's going to be presiding over this. And remember, they're going to say, well, we're jurors. You're not really jurors in the way that we would think of jurors in the real world because you're not. Jurors don't cross-examine. They don't fact-find. They don't do a lot of these things. You're supposed to be the seekers of the truth. One thing, though, there's not enough votes to dismiss, which some people are saying was a possibility. And that was one of the things that was a possibility. But there aren't 51 votes to dismiss. So that means that they're there's a few Republicans out there that want to see this thing through to the end. And I want to see it through to the end. Get it all out there, lay it out there. Let's go from here. And then we can move forward. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. With all of that craziness going on, with all of that lunacies going on, you've got the Battle of the Royals still going on.
Queen Elizabeth striking a grandmotherly tone, not using royal titles to refer to the couple, but simply Harry and Meghan. The Queen also addressing the couple's plans to become financially independent. Harry and Meghan have made clear that they do not want to be reliant on public funds in their new lives. It's therefore been agreed that there will be a period of transition in which the Sussexes will spend time in Canada and the UK.
Yeah. She wants to still keep them close-ish by. Because a lot of people love him. There's a lot of the common. They do. They revere this guy. But he didn't want any part of that. And I think he really wants to protect his wife. And that's admirable. I mean, like man, you're giving up all this stuff and you want to, you want a normal life, you want to protect your life, you want to protect your kid too. It's not just about her. But some people in Canada are pissed because it's going to cost about $2 million to protect them. And Trudeau gave assurance that to the Queen that they will be protected with Mounties and everything else that they have when she comes to visit or anything else, and that they're going to be absolutely fine. So there you go. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. They're going to battle it out tonight. We shall see what it looks like. Maybe they throw down. Maybe they don't. Be fun if they did.
The campaign's now duking it out over a private conversation in 2018 when Sanders allegedly told Warren a woman can't win. Sanders denies the claims, calling the idea that he would say a woman couldn't win ludicrous, stating, "Do I believe a woman can win in 2020? Of course. After all, Hillary Clinton beat Donald Trump by 3 million votes in 2016.
Yeah, so I think those two, she says some stuff, but will they actually go at each other face to face? And who is going to be the person? When you watch these debates, I say it over and over again, I'll continue to say it. The person who's moderating it will be the one that drives the ship, and it'll either be an amazing, smooth sailing, awesome, or it's going to be bumpy and rocky. And if this person doesn't ask the right questions and press them on the real things, and now you'll have more time to do it with only 6 up there, that's sad. So it's only as good as the moderator. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter, your Instagram as well. This is the Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
One is to have a vote at the outset as to whether or not they're going to be witnesses.
Outset!
And that's what Chuck Schumer is going to promote. I don't favor that approach. Even though I do want witnesses, I'm going to be voting against the Schumer model to have that vote at the beginning. Instead, there's the, if you will, the Clinton impeachment model, which is to say that we have opening arguments and then we have a vote.
Yeah, so here's the way this is going to go. Sometimes tomorrow. Let's see here. Chad said last week that it was probably going to come Wednesday. Today is Tuesday. So tomorrow's Wednesday. I don't get a lot of things right, but when I get something right, damn it, I'm going to talk about it. Oh, don't tell those 1,000 million moms that I said the word damn it, because we'll be in total trouble like Burger King. So tomorrow they're going to vote on the managers, which we were laughing about. Like, so you're going to vote on the managers? You just can't have, like, Phil's like, isn't that what interns are for? Right? So when you're not trying to sleep with them or kill them, shouldn't you just be telling them, hey, can you take these across the hall? So somebody will be the manager, and then they'll take it across the hall, and then off we go, right? So it's going to start rocking and rolling quicker, but you got to get through tonight. And Iowa, they want Iowa to be the big thing for, all eyes on the Dems in Iowa. But there was a talk yesterday that Mitch McConnell was going around because the White House was pushing him, and he was actually totally cool with it. Hey, let's just dismiss the charges, right? We can have a vote. We get enough people to vote. We can dismiss all of these charges. We don't have to have a trial. But that's not going to happen.
A handful of key Republicans say they do want to hear from additional witnesses, or at least want a promise now that they will consider those witnesses further down the line. Now, hearing from witnesses would dramatically change the dynamic of the trial in the Senate, and it could make it much longer. But the Republican leader, Mitch McConnell, has made very clear he has no interest in hearing from them. He is looking for a quick acquittal of the president.
Yeah. And it's not going to change anything. I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again. John Bolton doesn't have anything that is going to change anybody's mind. You will have a few Republicans that may feel uneasy, that may want more things, that may even vote guilty or for removal in one or two of these. And you'll have a few Democrats who are in red states or states that are very, 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 very dark purple, and they may vote to acquit. Nothing is going to happen at all that's going to change anybody's minds. Their minds were made up long before this, and then you throw politics on it, and that's what it is.
It makes little sense to have the House depose John Bolton and then submit that deposition to the Senate. The Senate ought to hear from him quite directly.
Yeah. But also, let's remember this, right? We talk and we debate this entire thing with Bolton. You can subpoena him. Trump's already says, I got my presidential privilege. On top of all of that, Bolton could walk over at any given time or submit stuff in writing at any given time. At any given time. A majority of Americans want to see this thing we've already gotten to this far. Let's see it all the way out, right? Let's just see. We're going to see this thing to its conclusion. It's not going to change anything. There's still going to be an election come November. Trump is still going to be on the top of the ticket, barring anything absolutely insane. But we're at the point now where let's just get on with this, right? Let's get on with this and see this thing out.
On Friday, Speaker Pelosi signaled she may finally wind down her one-woman blockade of a fair and timely impeachment trial.
Yeah, and that's what it's been. I think Nancy's been looking around going, all right, let's see here. I don't really want to do this. I'm going to have to do this. And then it's going to go over there. And then it's going to come away where nothing happens. And then we're back to square one. And all the while, we're going to be taking people out of the field and the campaign trail, which is something to think about. You've got tonight. The battle goes on. And tonight's going to be very interesting because Joe Biden's been really quiet. And that's the way Joe Biden should be seen but not heard. Very quiet, right? Buttigieg has been very quiet. The battle is between Warren and Bernie Sanders right now, and they're battling it out. But think about this. You've got Klobuchar, you've got Warren, and you've got Sanders, who in this very vital time, you've got 4 of these primaries. You got the Iowa caucus, you got New Hampshire, right? I think you got Nevada. I mean, we've got 4 of these things coming up. Boom, 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 boom. Do you really want them sitting around all the time?
If there's anyone who gained from this, it'd be anybody who's running for president that's not in the U.S. Senate. With Iowa quickly upon us in early February, those 4 senators who are running for president will now no longer have a voice. Interesting to me if I'd see the Democrat National Committee ask those who are not senators to not campaign while the others cannot.
Yeah. That's just it. And here's something else. If you want this to be, as everybody's talking about, what do we want? What kind of trial do we want?
The next step is simple. The Senate should conduct a fair trial. A fair trial involves witnesses and documents. What is the president hiding from the American people?
Hakeem Jeffries right there. Okay, a fair trial. So how is this? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, this thing kicks off by Friday, Monday. It continues to roll on. Another debate comes about. This thing's still rolling on. We can't ask them questions, right? They're supposed to be impartial, but they've all made up their mind. That's not fair to them. It's not fair to them. Say, well, we're going to ask these people over here. Biden, you can answer this. Buttigieg, you can answer this. Right? Tom Steyer, you can answer this. But you three can't answer this. It's over. It's done with. We know where it's going, but let's see it out to its conclusion. Let's let them battle things out. They're all going to sit there and say, well, you're this or you're that or you're this and you're that and you're Here's the reality of it. It's politics. They've both chosen their sides. They chose their sides a long time ago. Their party is more important than the people and the truth. Therein lies the reality of it all. So we could step back, let it play itself out. You know where this is going to go. I know where this is going to go. Hopefully it gets there quicker and sooner rather than later. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Love hearing from every single one of you. Last night, kids, got to be honest with you, kind of bummed.
As they say in the bayou, laissez la bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll. LSU sits on the throne of college football.
Yeah, they do. It was a great win. I mean, game started. It felt very much like the day before. If you saw any football the day before, Kansas City was down 24-0 to Houston, and then it was just away they went. The Chiefs just exploded. Kind of felt like that. Clemson jumped out. They were like 17-0. It just felt like, oh, something's going well, and then it all fell apart. Handbasket. I love their coach, though. If you don't know who the coach is, Ed Orgeron. Louisiana boy, hilarious voice, got this thing. It is absolutely, he's something else. And to watch them celebrate, all on the back of what took place a little over 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago, when their offensive coordinator, his daughter-in-law, his son's wife was killed on the way to watch them play in the semifinals. So the team kind of rallied around, and you just have to listen to Orgeron. He is just awesome.
But it's been a great ride. I got to thank my family. And listen, man, I'm in the right place at the right time and a great school with a great coaching staff. I have all the resources that we need. You come to LSU, you just have to do it right, and you're going to win.
Yeah. You come to LSU, you're going to do it right and win. Listen to them and just, you know what I'm saying. Right guy, right time guy. Guy, right time, right guy. Listen to my voice. He drinks like 5 Red Bulls a day. It was awesome, though. It was awesome. But Clemson lost last night, but I am not saying that Clemson won't win again, because they will, because they're coming back with pretty much an amazing team next year, and they're already favorites to win it again in Vegas. Speaking of favorites, we got a story. We're trying to find out if it's real or not, and one of us is going to join it to find out if it's real, and it's about wagering. This could be interesting. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. I'm really excited about the way I feel. You know, where you just come here to LSU and you just feel the excitement of it all. Guy, he is all that is the Bayou. I guarantee we're gonna win this game, and we did. Wounded Paw, amazing organization, incredible. You know, I love animals, and they're just incredible. What they do is, if you, and I tell you, everybody, just go check out woundedpawproject.org, right? This is an organization that is changing the lives of animals that were once shelter dogs who are now service dogs. At one time were throwaway, and chances are they were going to be euthanized. And at the same time, changing the lives of veterans, first responders, and their families. And I can't praise them enough. The work that they do is incredible. Their mission simple. They're going to take our furry best friends and they're going to connect them with our nation's heroes. To save a paw is to save a life. But they need your help. It's not easy and it's not cheap. It takes a while to get these dogs ready. And they're looking for help in the form of a gift of a vehicle. If it flies or it floats, if it drives, whatever it is, they'll come pick it up, get a great tax-deductible gift, and what it's going to do to change a life is huge. Check out woundedpawproject.org. That's woundedpawproject.org. They also accept cash. Or call 844-678-4PAW. That's 844-678-4729. Oh, baby, you know what I'm saying? It's great to win this game tonight. You know what I mean? Chad Benson Show.
Experiencing separation anxiety? That's dumb. Check out Chad 24/7 at his website, ChadBensonShow.com, and on iTunes, free. The Chad Benson Show. Never feel lonely again.
People don't talk and all that, but you can't let it affect you. You got. I use that as an internal motivation. People, they tease me the way I talk, tease me the way I look, and when it's kind of funny. The things that I was doing at Ole Miss, I was ridiculed for, and now I punch myself in the jaw, and everybody at LSU likes it. So it just depends where you at, man.
Yeah, it just depends where you at. I punch myself in the jaw. People like, I drink a Red Bull, shotgun some of those Red Bulls, just keep winning. That's all I got to do. I guarantee. I could listen to Ed Ogeron all day. He's the coach of LSU. They won the national championship last night. And that guy, he's super infectious. Part of being like a basketball or football coach at these big time things is half the time you've got to be a coach. Not even half the time. 30% of the time you're a coach, right? You're a CEO 30% of the time. But 40% of the time, you've got to be a motivational speaker inside of kids' living rooms. You got to be a motivational speaker. I'm there. I'm taking your kid to the next level. He's going to get educated. I mean, it's crazy. But if he showed up, he's like, Chad, I want you to come and kick a football for me. I'm like, all right. As long as you just keep talking to me like that all day, it'll be fun. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Not a shock.
For the first time in decades, Boeing is posting negative numbers when it comes to airplane orders. In new data released, Boeing was at negative 87 orders in 2019 because it lost orders that had been placed. The 737 MAX crisis has left Airbus the leader in airplane deliveries, delivering 863 planes last year. Boeing delivered only 380. And now American Airlines is joining United in canceling all MAX flights until at least June.
Yeah, that is, you knew it. I've said, this right here is massive. What this is going to do for Boeing may be a lost decade. It is going to take a long time to recover from this. It is going to take a long time. I was talking to the lady up front. She's not a big fan of flying. She's flying tomorrow. And she said one of the first things she was doing was she wants to see what kind of plane she's on. I assured her, look, you're not going to be flying on a MAX. But that's in people's minds. They want to know, what am I flying on now? And that B word, even if they don't understand, okay, it's a MAX or something totally different, it doesn't matter. And it takes a long time to rebuild that faith in your brand. Speaking of that,
Iran now confirming that arrests have been made of those involved in the accidental shooting down of that plane. No details, however, of how many or exactly who has been arrested.
Yeah, and on top of that, and people are blaming Trump for this, right? You had a CEO in Canada who came out and blamed Trump, and Trudeau's kind of echoing those things because if it wasn't for Trump doing what he did, the instability in the region. First of all, I'm going to say this. The instability of the region has been around long before those great holy documents were even written, right? Secondly, while there's still some real questions about how this whole thing went down, here's something. Your dumbassery and your absolute buffoonery of allowing people to fly out on a night when you knew potentially something could go on, and then you've got Barney Fife manning a missile station and panicking, is not Trump's fault. It's not. It is a horrible, awful, horrible mistake, and people lost their lives. But your incompetence is not his fault. That's the reality of that, right? You got Barney, Andy, Ayatollah, and then the next thing you know, boom. Sorry. You can blame Trump for a lot of things. Instability. Trump could leave tomorrow. Guess what's going to happen on Thursday? Instability in the Middle East. Well, he made it worse. Again, it's a long-term play, and the reality is you're looking at a house that's been burnt to the ground, and you're worried about water damage. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson shows your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. Look, I don't mind. You hammer the president, a lot of things that he does, because he is, shoots himself in the foot a lot. But at some point in time, get your head out your butt. I guarantee it. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
In a meeting with Democratic members this morning, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi confirmed the House will take up a resolution to appoint impeachment managers on Wednesday, a process that will then allow Pelosi to send the articles to the Senate. Pelosi refused to do so for the last 4 weeks unless Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell publicly announced the rules of the impending trial. The Speaker budging last Friday when she announced she's moving forward with the process.
Yep, so tomorrow we should know about it. Tonight the Dems will be on stage battling it out. Be interesting to see what kind of dust-up there may or may not be. Biden, been fairly quiet, doing his thing, going around coffee shop to coffee shop, right? Other side of things, you haven't heard a ton lately from Buttigieg. Klobuchar's been fairly quiet. I've seen her a few places. Tom Steyer you can't get away from. But then you got Bernie and you got Elizabeth. Interesting, Elizabeth Warren was at a town hall, and there's two. First, it was a crazy guy who was screaming and yelling at her, which is just asinine and stupid. Feels like a plant. I don't buy it. I don't like it. If that's how you really feel, there's a better way of handling it. I understand emotions get involved, but I never trust the craziness. But somebody did ask her a real question. Seems like a real question being asked in a way that is the way that we should talk to each other, and we should vet the people that we may or may not vote for.
As an evangelical Christian, I am continually bombarded by Democratic candidates who demonize my beliefs, calling them bigoted and intolerant. I love this country, and I love my fellow citizens, and I don't feel the respect and honor for my values and what I believe in. My question for you is, why should I give up things that I hold dear, that I teach my children about, things like ending abortion, traditional marriage, and religious freedoms? Why should I give up those things that I love so much and believe so deeply in to vote for an individual like yourself?
Which is like that right there is, if you're going to ask a question, it's a perfect way to ask a question. It's a very real questions, right? You have a belief. Doesn't mean you're anti-gay, right? Doesn't mean you understand, that you understand choice, but you would like to see a different way. You believe in life. Doesn't mean you can have a different belief, but why should I have to give up my belief? Why is my belief attacked? And it's okay to do that nowadays. Because if not, then you're this, and this, right? And remember, I go back to it all the time. The deplorables thing that Hillary said resonates with so many people, even if they don't like Trump. They feel like this half of the country hates that half of the country. And that is very real. Elizabeth.
I was born and raised Methodist. I've been a Sunday school teacher. Most of the scripture I quote is still King James. I'm old school. But I don't think you have to be a religious person to have good values. I believe everyone should be treated with respect. For me, it is a basic value. Every human being has value. And that's true whether we're talking about black or white, straight or gay or trans, old or young. I think this is really an important part of who we are.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Again, I'm not asking about, like, if I'm that guy, I'm saying, look, I'm not asking about that, right? Everybody can have their values. But when you demonize my values as bigoted, as wrong, because I have certain beliefs, that's the issue I have, right? You should love everybody. You don't have to like everybody. Says so in the Bible. You don't have to like anybody. You should love them all. But you don't have to like them. But that's a fair question. I like what you tried to come back with. Again, because you're a politician, you're doing the political thing. But he had a very good take.
Question about abortion. I understand that you and I may have differences, but here's what I'm certain about. And that is a woman who's in the position of trying to decide what she's going to do about a pregnancy that she may not have planned for, may have been forced upon her, is a woman who should be able to call on anyone for help. Her partner, on her mom, call on her priest or her rabbi or her pastor. But the one entity that should not be in the center of that very hard decision is the federal government.
True. And it should be that way for religion, too. Right? And for businesses. And for, if you have a belief about something, whatever it is, you want to make a candle, you don't want to make what governments gets involved. I mean, I understand what she's trying to say, but, take it from a person who sounds like he really was interested in her. Right? And by the way, a majority of Americans feel like that guy does. 70, 80% of us, the exhausted majority. We're not screaming and yelling on either sides. Now, you may only vote one direction, but you have friends who are Democrats. You have friends who are Republicans. You get it. You're cool with both sides of it, that you don't judge people. Because nowadays, you're judged, you judge people on the color of their skin. You judge people. It's like you're not supposed to do any of these things. But we do judge more and more so based on the color of our voting beliefs, red or blue. Right? If you're blue, you're a snowflake, liberal, lunatic, psychopath. Right? Socialist. If you're red, you're a Nazi, fascist, hate-mongering. That's not true. It's not. We know that. But it does feel that way. We've taken judging to a whole new level.
So I'll be respectful of you, and I believe you when you say you're respectful of me. We may have a difference about the view about the federal government on this issue, but boy, I sure would like to think about the parts we come together on the importance of investing in every single baby in this country. That's what we can do. We've got a chance to do this, and I hope we're able to do it. Thank you, Tim.
When you're not killing them. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. It's going to be interesting to see what happens between her and Sanders tonight because, Sanders wants to win, and he don't want what happened to happen last time, right? I think he still feels that there are people inside of the Democratic apparatus that is doing everything they possibly can to make sure that he is not the last person standing. And there is some issues there. As the rappers would say, they got some beef.
The campaign's now duking it out over a private conversation in 2018 when Sanders allegedly told Warren a woman can't win. Sanders denies the claims, calling the idea that he would say a woman couldn't win ludicrous, stating, "Do I believe a woman can win in 2020? Of course. After all, Hillary Clinton beat Donald Trump by 3 million votes in 2016.
Yeah. Could that have been something he said, look, maybe a woman in this day and age at this moment in time can't win? Is that something he possibly could have said? Yes. Do I think for a moment he thinks that a woman can't win? No. But I think she's looking for some noise. She's looking for something because she's seeing Biden and Sanders pull away, and she doesn't seem to be gaining any traction. She just, there's nothing there. Struggling a bit. So maybe this is good. Maybe it's not. I'll see if they duke it out tonight. That could be interesting. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Feel free to tweet at me. You can text the program as well. Love hearing from every single one of you. For those of you guys not keeping score, producer Phil and I love it. We apparently are not a part of it, and we thought we would be. But today,
General J. Raymond will take his position as the first officer of the United States Space Force.
Space Force. We're not a part of Space Force. We were hoping to be a part of Space Force, but we were not. So Space Force, we got the new leader in Space Force.
He never hesitated. He knew right away there was no one more qualified or more prepared from a lifetime of service than General J. Raymond.
Space Force. And he's taking over. What do you think his first ship's going to be? The Enterprise? Now you're just not being serious, Chad. Sometimes I'm not very serious. I'm excited about Space Force. Because, hey, space is where we're going to battle it out. Right? Because the countries are all going to get together and say, look, right, we're not going to blow up Earth. That's stupid. But we do want to fight you. So, like when you were a kid and every high school and junior high, you didn't want to get caught on the grounds, right? So you would, you had the ditch was the place where we had this little ditch behind our school where you could go down. It's like a water, runoff. Or you fight behind this or you fight behind. Everybody had that. And that's what space is going to be. It's going to be a place where we can all go up and we can blast each other. And at the end of the day, we don't mess up the arena here. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can text the program, tweet at us as well. Car Shield. I love my Car Shield. I don't worry about it. A Car Shield on all my stuff. Tell everybody to get it. Guy around here who I love, Lloyd. I said, Lloyd, get Car Shield. It's not, I don't need Car Shield. I don't need Car Shield. Within 24 hours, issue with his car, cost him a ton of money. He would have paid small deductible. They would have handled the rest. For 3 days, he'd bum rides. You don't do that. Car Shield is great. And by the way, it's not just, if your car's it's got to have 130,000 miles on it. It's got to be 20 years old. No. Your car could have 5,000 miles on it. You could buy it used. You may have no warranty whatsoever with it, and it's got all the electronics you could think of. Car Shield has a plan for you. 24/7 roadside assistance, a rental car for free while your car's in the shop, and the shop is a shop that you choose. 1 million customers they have helped. So drive with confidence, knowing you got covered by America's #1 auto protection provider. 5,000 to 150,000 miles on your vehicle. At some point in time, it's probably inevitable. Something's going to happen. Get yourself a plan that works right for you. Call them today, 800-CAR-6000. Mention code Benson. You can save yourself 10% or go to carshield.com, carshield.com. Use that code Benson to save 10%. A deductible may apply. Chad Benson Show.
I, you, he, she, it. Lucy is a girl.
Point of personal privilege, please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Shut up, boo. Ain't nobody got time for this. This is the Chad Benson Show.
Touching me, touching you.
That is Neil Diamond. He, along with several others, were announced as inductees into the 2020 Grammy Hall of Fame. Joni Mitchell, Clouds, Eurythmics, Sweet Dreams, Elton John's Tiny Dancer, Devos. Are we not men? We are Devo. Public Enemy. It takes a nation of millions to hold us back. Just a few. of the ones who will be put in. And so they put in, you're going in, this is the song itself is going in. You sang it, the song itself is going in. Police as well. Eurythmics, Sweet Dreams, just a few that are going in there. I like Peter Frampton's Show Me the Way. That's a good one. I can't believe Tiny Dancer's going in there from Elton John. I'm like, really? Tiny Dancer? People love their music. Music's important, especially when working out, right? Because here's the funny thing. 40% of us lie about working out to convince somebody else that they're busy. And they tell you why. Oh, this is why I didn't do this. I was working, I was doing this, that, and the other. Oh, my goodness. And one of the things they talk about is the essentials that you're missing when you go to the gym that makes you not want to work out. Some of them are real, right? So the workout essentials, these are the things that are must-have. Obviously, your clothes, your sneakers, your bottoms, your socks, water. If I don't have my water, they always have a place to get water there, right? Like I said, towel. That's a big one, though. I will say this. If I don't have my towel and I go to work out and I don't have a place to shower, I have a place to shower, but nah, right? Now, the top excuses of why people don't work out. Didn't eat enough. Felt dehydrated. Ate too much before. Forgot something. That's a big one. Oh, I forgot my shoes. Spent too much time at work. Wanted to go home. Right? Didn't want to go at all. Too tired. Too tired. You just too tired? Yeah, I'm just too tired. Are you sure you're too tired? You know what's great when you go work out? Very rarely, minus when you hurt yourself, right? Which can happen, right? You can go out and work out and you can tweak something really bad. About 3-4 months ago, I was working out hard, and the park I play soccer at, the field is not very level, and there's bumps and all kinds of stuff, and the ball went into a big hole, and I cracked a bunch of ribs. It sucked. But when I go work out, rarely do I say, that wasn't worth it. No, unless you're hurt. Some of the things you need to work out, one of the things was a great playlist. These are the top workout songs that are on people's devices. I'm not quite sure. Truth Hurts by Lizzo. Speaking of working out, or not. Roar by Katy Perry. Immigrant Song by Zeppelin. Despacito by Luis Fonsi. Dancing Queen, which is so weird, but it comes on and you kind of rock out to it. Born in the USA, I'll pass. Eye of the Tiger. I'm like, is this the 80s workout? Back in Black and Another One Bites the Dust are the top workout songs. So if you're going to go work out, if you're going to go crush it, those are the songs you need if you're going to get busy with it. Or you can just be like this guy.
Dan Hill says he thought 24-hour fitness was, 24 hours. Turns out the 24-hour fitness in Sandy, Utah is not. He was swimming laps. He got out to find the gym had closed and the staff had apparently gone home, locking him inside.
It was a little like Home Alone. It's like, oh my gosh, I got this gym to myself.
Dan took selfies inside the empty gym that have now gone viral. Then he called 911 to say he needed help getting out.
And he goes, well, can you not leave? And I said, well, there's an alarm system here, and there's cameras, and I don't want to get busted for breaking and entering.
Eventually, police arrived and set Dan free.
Would you just crush it? Would this be the perfect time to try that machine that you're afraid to try because you don't want to look like an idiot? Right? You ever go there and you're like, there's a machine. You're like, that looks like it could be something cool. Right? And you'll see somebody else on it. And then you go over it and you stare at it. And you're like, I don't know. Like, people could see me. And you got to, it's a contraption. But it looks like something you'd want to try. That's the perfect time to try it. And it's funny because that's such a lie. 24-hour fitness is not open 24 hours. It's not. There are a few that are open 24 hours. My 24-hour fitness just up the street here opens at like 4 in the morning and closes at like 11. I'm like, that's not 24 hours. It's not even close to 24 hours. You guys have lied to me. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. You can tweet at us. Love hearing from every single one of you. Check out thechadshow.com and grab your podcast. See all the ins and outs and the goings on. And like us on the old Facebook, The Chad Benson Show. is where you do that. This is the aforementioned Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show.